every once in a while an anime comes along that, for better or for worse, completely reshapes its genre. Sailor Moon revolutionized magic roles. Dragon Ball defined battle shonen, and for Isekai, it was series like Fushigi, Yuugi, and Sword Art Online. And in 2014, No Game No Life looked ready to join that list and push Isekai in a whole new and better direction, and I'm confident that it would have, if it wasn't for the fact that it disappeared. Which is really weird because the series was, and still is, very popular with a very active fan base, so it begs the question, what happened? I mean, the story is a really interesting concept about two siblings, Sora and Shiro. Two geniuses that feel like they don't really fit into society, and so they became hikikomoris. And they do the one thing you would expect two geniuses hiding from society would do, and that's play JRPGs and call kids slurs on Call of Duty. And one day, while they're on a win streak, they get a message by somebody going by the name Tet, and they challenge them to a friendly game of chess. This is where we start to see each sibling's skill kind of shine. Shiro is just really good at math, and Sora is really good at strategy, and together, they're basically an unstoppable team. So when they win this chess game, it's revealed that Tet is actually a god of another world and basically invites them to Vegas. Disboard. A world that he's created where people are incapable of hurting each other, so all conflicts are actually solved through gambling. So, for example, if you and me, let's say, played a game of rock, paper, scissors, and I made the wager that if I won, you had to subscribe to my channel, and then, hypothetically, I won this game of rock, paper, scissors, Magic would then force you to subscribe to my channel, or would have made it where you are always subscribed to my channel. So, subscribe. Honestly, it's just a really cool concept that gets you thinking and makes you ask questions like, can you technically cheat? Yes, the answer is yes, and very much like Vegas, you can do so as long as you don't get caught. And because this is a magic world, a lot of the cheating is done through that. So you have people that can read minds, or others that use their magic to always know what's going to happen and predict the outcomes of the games. And actually, there's only one race in this world that can't use magic, and that's humans. So they're at an extreme disadvantage, including Sora and Shiro, who actually have to use their big brains to kind of manipulate the rules to their favor. So yeah, technically they're overpowered, but in a different way than we're used to seeing. And the plot even kind of centers around this because the main conflict is them trying to help the humans of this world kind of win their land back after they basically lost most of their land gambling with the other races of this world. Again, this was 10 years. Sorry, I just realized I'm really old, and so again, this was 10 years ago. So I 100% believe that this series, because it was popular, if it had kept going, would have really changed Isekai. Simply because every popular Isekai is cannibalized by every new Isekai for inspiration. And I think the series would have changed how Isekai was perceived, because Isekai really just means other world. It doesn't have to be the typical fantasy world with green hills and blue skies and cities in the shape of fucking circles. Instead, it can be anything that you want it to be. If you want it to be sci-fi and futuristic, sure, why not? You want it to be just gothic? Okay, fuck it. It can be a western. I'd watch the time I got reincarnated as a cowboy and got dysentery. Why? Because it's different. Hell, how about instead of a city that's a circle, maybe make it a square or a triangle? Ooh, different. But sadly, other than a movie in 2017, this series has yet to get a season 2, and so it really didn't have time to shine or leave that big of an imprint on the genre. And even 10 years later, Madhouse, the studio behind season 1 and the movie, really haven't said anything other than while making both, they ran into issues. But I have my own theory. Put on your tinfoil hat for this one, buddy, because where we're going, it's about to get fucking crazy. Well, not really. I actually think that this makes a lot of sense. The series came out in 2014, only 2 years after Sword Art Online, which started the wave of popularity that Isekai was getting, but a very specific kind of Isekai was getting popular, and those were the ones like Sword Art Online. So they had JRPG elements, so levels, skill menus, and set in typical fantasy worlds, and No Game No Life really doesn't fall into that type of Isekai. So yeah, my theory is because the series was so different and unique, that's why we never got a second season. I think some bigwigs at Madhouse saw that Isekai was going to get popular and their series went against the grain, and they had two choices: try and ride the wave with this Isekai and hope that it remains popular, or cut their losses and not even take the chance before it was too late and make something that would have fell more in line with what was popular. And oh, they definitely went with the latter, because a year after dropping this show, they animated and then released Overlord, a series that fell more in line with what was popular at the time. It probably also didn't help that No Game No Life also came out the same year as Haikyuu and Sword Art Online Gun Gale and Seven Deadly Sins and Tokyo Ghoul and Space Dandy. And of course, everyone's favorite, the Kawaii Complex Guide to Manners and Hostile Behavior. All of these series are really big hits, and I think it just came down to that Madhouse also wanted a big hit and knew they could get one if they made an isekai that fell in line versus one that just didn't. But then the question is, okay, why not release it now? And I honestly think it's because they're a little bit afraid. Oh my god, I'm actually gonna be able to use my psych degree? Okay. They're basically afraid of the theory expectancy disconfirmation, which is just a theory that suggests that as something takes longer to come out, people's imaginations start to run a little bit wild and they start to come up with a idealized version that to them is very perfect. And then when they actually do get the final product, they're not satisfied with it because they already imagined a way better version of what they got. I just believe that they think that if they release No Game No Life Season 2 now, that people's expectations will not match what they end up releasing. But again, because a lot of time has passed, what people kind of expect from an anime has also gone up in general. People really want high quality voice actors and characters, especially animation. If one anime waifu is animated wrong, or ooh, if a fight scene isn't close to Mappa level, or ooh, if the voice actor's voice doesn't match what I thought this character's voice was gonna sound like, then it's a wrap. This series is trash. And this will actually happen. People will criticize season 2 very negatively if it doesn't meet their expectations, which at this point, a lot of those expectations are probably just insane. The movie in 2017 was to dip their toe in and test the water and see if it would do well. And I mean, it did. A lot of people liked it and a lot of people ended up praising it. But at the same time, it is a movie. It has a little bit more of a budget. And that was in 2017. Things are way different now, even though it's only been a couple of years. And again, this is all just a theory and speculation. It's not like I have someone at Madhouse leaking this to me. This is just me looking at the timeline of events and speculating, and I'm probably not the first crazy person to think of this. And does it even really matter 10 years later in 2025? Probably not, because we do have some series that push against the typical fantasy world, and those series do really well because of isekai fatigue. Everyone is sick of seeing the same garbage over and over and over again. So when a series does come out that is slightly different than what the norm is, that isekai series usually ends up blowing up and becomes the next big thing in the genre. Which I would argue kind of also causes an issue where every isekai is also trying to be the same but different at the same time, and that's how we get series like this. But I do also believe that if No Game No Life had its time to shine and did inspire more isekais to create fun and unique worlds, I don't think isekai fatigue would have happened as quickly as it did, simply due to the fact that there probably would have been a lot more different kinds of isekais out right now. But again, even that is just speculation and what if. Time though, I do think that Madhouse should just do what they did with One Punch Man and give No Game No Life to somebody else. A studio that is willing to take the chance on this series and actually animate and release it, especially because at the time of me making this video, it has 12 light novels out. That's a lot, and it has a couple of manga volumes, I think just 2 at this point, but the fan base is still here. They're still supporting this series through the light novels and through the 2 manga volumes. They want an anime adaptation. But I hate to say it, but to those people who have been waiting all these years and having faith in Madhouse, I think it's time to just give up on Madhouse ever making a season 2 and just hoping that they will just one day allow another studio to make season 2. But what do you guys think? Do you guys like No Game No Life? Do you hate No Game No Life? Do you think it deserves a second season? Do you want a second season? Do you think I'm crazy? Let me know down in the comments below. I respond to those. And if you want to help me out, hit the like button. It really does help. And check out my other videos. All right, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.